Well, welcome back to Simple Truth, where we're going to try to pull some truths out of the story of David. We're in 1 Samuel. We're in chapter 26. We left off on verse 18, right? But I want to go back and read verse 17 again. Saul recognized David's voice. He said, "Is this your voice, my son David?" And David said, "It is my voice, my lord, O king." And he said, "Why does my lord pursue after his servant? For what have I done? What evil is on my hands?" Right? A very good question that David is asking of Saul. Right? These are the kind of questions that ought to stop you and I in a moment. I'm frequently saying to people, I don't understand why people aren't convicted in moments. We're in the middle of a conversation and I ask you a question. I don't know why it doesn't stop you and go, "Wait, you think that about me? Wait, you've heard that about me? Wait, you did that." Like why don't these moments stop us? And where we go like, "Wait, that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be." And the enemy gets us so tied up, so going so quickly, right? In our minds, in our words, in our actions. Kind of like when I can't slow down and think right through what I'm going to say here on Simple Truth or anywhere else. The enemy has us getting so riled up that nothing stops the momentum. It is that big, huge, humongous boulder that's going down the hill and just runs over everything in its path. Nothing stops it. If it's funny, if a boulder right moves an inch, something could stop it that's minute in nature. But once it starts getting that momentum, it's very hard to stop it. It's why God warns us about our anger and our frustration and our disappointment and our discouragement and our jealousy and our envy and our hate and all of these things, because once they get going, it's hard to stop. Even when someone like David is asking Saul a very relevant question, why? Do you even know why you're doing this? Right? Most of the time, as Christians, we look at things and when we're asked that question, do you even know why you're doing this? We can point out a hurt, a very specific hurt. But when the questions go deeper than that and say, so that's the way you want to be treated, that's how you think this should be handled. Well, then we start justifying and we start rationalizing everything. You see, there's a right to be hurt. There's a right to be disappointed. There's a right to pick up your rock. The question isn't whether there's a right to any of those things. The question is whether or not it's okay for you to throw the rock. Is it okay for you to say the words? Is it okay for you to do the things? Is it okay for you, because somebody has harmed you, to proactively and reactively go after that person? Is it okay for you to go after someone because they've hurt you? Saul's whole thing was David's out for my job, David's out for my kingdom, David's out for me. That's a pretty big accusation, which, by the way, is absolutely true. Right? David was out for all those things, but only because the God of the universe gave Saul's things away. And there's a super, super relevant thought process there. Are you fighting man or are you fighting God? Maybe that person that you're so upset about, maybe the answer to why are you doing those things is God is allowing this to happen to get your attention. God is doing this as part of his discipline. God is doing this as part of his judgment and punishment. Maybe it's that kind of a thing. Are you willing to stop for a second today and answer that question? Why are you doing this? Why am I acting this way? Why am I talking this way? Why am I doing these things? You chew on that. We'll see you right here. We continue the story of David on Simple Truth.